talk to us about this, your proposal to the Vice President and the justification for same. Honorable Ibrahim Ahmed?
Yeah, Omar.
Yes, please. So kindly speak to us about this proposal of yours to the Vice President and your justification for same.
Omar, let me say a very good evening to your cherished listeners. As a matter of fact, our call is predicated on the Article 111 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And if you care to know, let me read. That is attendance in Parliament of the Vice President. The Vice President or a minister or a deputy minister who is not a member of Parliament shall be entitled to participate in the proceedings of Parliament and shall be accorded all the courtesies and privileges as a member of Parliament, except that he is not entitled to vote or to hold a position in Parliament. So, pursuant to this article, any time there's a budget presentation in Parliament or media review, the Vice President always comes and we give him a seat in front. But this particular one, looking at his poor and abysmal economic performance, this media review that was presented yesterday, the Vice President was nowhere to be found. And we realized that of late he's been calling for a debate. The question is, if you are calling for a debate, meanwhile you are a chairman of the economic management team, you have delivered a poor performance, you are presenting the last opportunity that you are going to represent to face the people of Ghana, their representatives. Why is it that you fail to show up in the presentation of the media review? 2, we are to start the debate tomorrow, the 25th of July. And we are saying that if you have been given the mandate for 7.5 years, this is your last budget that you are presenting. The debate is to be taking place day after tomorrow, that day after day, and that is tomorrow. Why don't you, if you didn't get the opportunity to come, avail yourself to the Constitution and let's debate and give you an input so that when you go as chairman of the economic management team or when you go to cabinet, you will be able to translate most of this, our input, to get a well-informed policy, because we are the people's representatives and we are feeling the hardships that you have brought to Ghanaians. The 2 million Ghanaians youth who are facing nutrition and food insecurity, the 33.3% of Ghanaian population who are extremely poor, and about 35% of the Ghanaian youth who are unemployed, the highest in the Fourth Republic. We are going to debate this economic performance tomorrow. And he is the one who has been calling for debate. And we say that the Constitution has given you that mandate. Come to meet the people's representatives and come and let us debate it. You either come or you forever keep your mouth quiet. And this is why we have thrown the challenge.
But he's calling for a debate of equals. You are not his equal.
Do you remember the last time that the Mama told him that he has never been president before and therefore he did not qualify to debate him or he did not qualify to criticize him? What was his response? Who are his equal? We put him there. You see, Bawumia, everything that you want to use to defend him, he will fall short. You see that even this argument that you yourself you are bringing, he has already defeated that argument. And you remember in 2012 when the Mama called for Nana Akufo-Addo to the debating, Nana Akufo-Addo himself did not respond to Bawumia, did not respond to President Mama. It was Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia who went and responded to President Mama, saying that President Mama did not need to debate Nana Akufo-Addo, but he should go and debate the suffering Ghanaians. He should go and debate the youth unemployed. He should go and debate the cocoa farmers. Have you forgotten? So what has changed?
Okay,
Have you forgotten that the same Bawumia who gave the late Vice President Emisata 170 questions, where is the marking scheme? And where are the answers to those questions? So we should not just allow people to be going around talking to Ghanaians where they know that those questions that they are putting up will not be questioned. Parliament is a constitutional forum for the ventilation of grievances. It is a constitutional venue for the house for the debate. The Vice President has been given a constitutional mandate and a constitutional legitimacy to come and debate. And that's why we are throwing this challenge to him. We have lined up 6 competent or 8 competent people who are going to debate tomorrow. And he must be there to debate them, or he should forever keep his mouth silent.
Per your parliamentary rules, is it allowed for a vice president to be in the chamber to debate?
I've given you the constitution and you are asking for parliamentary rule. We are all subject to the constitution. We are practicing a constitutional rule. And I've quoted Article 111 of the 1992 Republican Constitution of Ghana to you. And all our parliamentary rules are subsidiary to the constitution.
All right. Let me speak to his spokesperson. If you could just stay on the line for me. Dennis Miracles Aboagye, you've heard the minority whip deputy there.
Vice President and spokesperson, where were they yesterday?
Okay, let me hear from Dennis, Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim. Let me hear from Dennis Miracles. You've heard from Ibrahim Ahmed there. The debate you're calling for, you should come and have it in the Chamber of Parliament. What do you say to that? Hello,
Honorable Ahmed. I think that the Vice President is flattered that the NDC can line up 6-7 people to come and debate their team. I think it only tells you the caliber.
Dennis, could you please speak up?
Saying that, can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
I'm saying that the Vice President is really flattered, with this initiative by the minority, especially when they line up 7 to 8 people to come and debate just the Vice President. And Omaru, I disagree with you. The Vice President never thinks that the MPs are not his co-equals. He really holds them in high esteem, and he believes that they are real, men of high repute. But the fact is that if this is the minority's way of shielding former President Mahama from debating the Vice President, that's okay. But this strategy of protecting your flag bearer in the name of the Vice President should come to the Chamber of Parliament to come and debate 7 people. Since when did Parliament select people and line them up to debate one person on the floor of the House? In fact, based on the set criteria, every debate has rules. And based on the set criteria that at least I see from the letter from the minority, it's quite obvious that the Vice President doesn't even have to bother. He has a lot more competent persons in Parliament on the majority side who can handle these 7 men from the minority side without he having to be there. And so really, if that is the case, then please, Honorable Ahmed should know that in Parliament, I see the ranking members of the committees from their side. And our chairman at the Honorable Afenyo Maken is highly competent to debate them. We have Kwesi Kwarteng there. He will debate on behalf of government. We have Frank Anodompre there. We have a lot of members of Parliament on the majority side who can competently debate their 7 selected people without having to disrupt the Vice President in coming to Parliament. And so the Vice President's call is specific. He's running for the office of the President. The minority have a leader. The leader of their party is the former President. The Vice President is quite sure, 100% confidence in the performance of this government. Their leader is asking for the people of this country to vote for him, to come and formulate policies before they even come to the floor of the House. And the Vice President is simply saying that, come, let's put our record against your record. Defend yours, and let me defend mine with a set of presidential debate rules. The floor of the House has rules that you cannot change simply because the minority have written a letter. There are rules that they call standing orders that cannot be changed overnight just for a debate between the minority and the Vice President. And that would not be the best place to have a presidential debate, which may require that we have certain specific set of rules. And so the Vice President is happy that they extended an invitation to him, but he says, no, thank you. He has competent men in the House who are seated there with the minority, and he would ask his men there to handle this simple debate on his behalf whilst he prepares himself and continues to wait for their leader, the former President.
But in the past, you refused to debate the former president, so they are serving you with the same meal you served them in the past. Why do you think that they should debate you now when you in the past did not debate them?
Oh, I think it's fine. I don't think the vice president has put a gun to the head of the former president to debate him. And that's why I even find it quite strange that the minority are devising such ways to shield their leader. If you don't want to debate, simply say I don't want to debate. But these tactics of my minority have lined up 7 people that I alone should come and debate them on the floor of the House that has standing orders, rules that cannot be bent simply because there's a presidential candidate, a vice president in the House. And so I should come there. You don't have to go through all this stress just to avoid a debate. When we didn't want to debate the former president, we said it. And so if he doesn't want to debate, he should just say it. And I think he has said it. And so there's tactics that help. The vice president has a lot of competent men on the majority side in the House of the House, on the floor of the House, and they are ready and willing to debate these 7 persons from the minority. He doesn't have to bother about it. He doesn't need to come in and do this. There are people there to handle it for him. If the former president feels that he cannot defend his own record against the vice president's record defense for this government, it's okay. He can say that he will not do it. But these devices, they won't help. But he's very flattered. Let me put it on record. The vice president is flattered with this invitation, but he says, no, thank you. There are a lot of his men on the floor to handle this for him.
Out of curiosity, why has the game changed now for you to be interested in debating Mahama? I remember in 2020, and I'm looking at a story published by our website at the time, citynewsroom.com, debating Mahama not part of our campaign strategy, and it has a photo of Sami Ewuku, who was quoted in that, and that debate never happened in 2020. Why has it become a part of your campaign strategy now to have a debate between the NPP flag bearer, your candidate, and John Dramani Mahama?
I think predominantly this whole debating has been triggered by the acts and antics of the former president, honestly speaking. If you have a former president who has been president before but goes around peddling a lot of falsehood, claiming a lot of things that he has no hands in, misleading and misinforming the public about a lot of things, obviously you call him to put him to test and for him to prove all these things that he's saying. So maybe in the year 2020, he probably had not escalated this misinformation and disinformation that as he is doing today. And so if you have a former president who continuously peddles falsehood, mislead, misinform, and disinform, the best and quickest way to settle it is to say, come, let's put all the things you are saying to strict proof. And let's see how the things you say can stand the test of this street proof. So the times are different. This is an election where you have a vice president, a certain vice president, vying for presidency for the government for the third-time elections, and then you have a former president who has been vice president before, been president before, running against a vice president. It's important that we do this peer-to-peer debates for us to really ascertain that between these two leaders, who really can we trust? Who can we believe in? Who can we have a lot of hope and assurance in? Yeah. And so you should understand that the times are completely different, and the times is what is demanding for this. But like I said, Umaru, nobody has put a gun to the head of the former president. He's the one going around saying things that cannot be substantiated. If he's been called to come and justify these things and he cannot do it, it's fine. But these antics on the minority, it means nothing. We don't have to bother. Afenyo Makin and Co will handle them for us.
Very well. Let me just, please, again, stay on the line for me. Honorable Ahmed, you should just make your candidate available for the debate because he has been engaging in disinformation at all. One of the reasons that your colleague on the other side wants a debate between the two. He appreciates that you've presented 7 or 8 people to debate the candidate, but of course, there are others on your opposite bench who can do that with you, he says.
Omar, as a matter of fact, I heard Miracle say that no to the invitation. So Bawumia is not going to come for the debate. Bawumia is, if he's scared of the 8 people, the 8 people, he alone is not going to debate the 8 people. Parliament is a house of procedure. The 8 people, if 8 are going to debate, Bawumia will be added to the 7 MPP there. The Afenyo Markins and all those people that he is talking of to debate the 8 people. It is not that he alone is coming to be debating 8 people. That is not it. Let that be right for Miracle. Then secondly, In 2020, if Miracle is talking of peer-to-peer, in 2020, by the year 2020, Mama had been a former president for 4 years. Akufo-Addo has also been president for 4 years. Why did they run away? Peer-to-peer means 4-4. Even that, they ran away. 2012, you ran away. But beyond all those things, Parliament is the house of procedure. Almost all the finances that were approved for President Mahama or NDC when he was in power were done in Parliament. All the monies that have been approved for Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia were done in Parliament. All the records in national development are done in Parliament. All institutions in Ghana respond to Parliament. So when we say that he is the head of the economic management team, we know all the economic records and every financial records and indicators are all the national budgets are presented in Parliament. We were surprised that his last budget presentation, he has run away. And that is why we are calling him. He owed the good people of Ghana accountability for his 7.5 years stewardship. So we are not calling Bawumia, we are not calling President Bawumia, President Akufo-Addo to come. But we are calling Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as chairman of the economic management team and as vice president of the Republic of Ghana, who has been given the mandate by Article 111 in the Constitution to come and do that constitutional mandate. And he owes us. It is not that we are begging. He owes us that explanation. We have been approving the money for him. Before he came to power, the national inflation figure that President Mama left in was 15.4. It is in our record here. So he is coming to tell us what is the inflationary record now. Before he came to power, we gave you 15.4 inflation, you send it to 25%, you took it to 54, you have reduced it to 25. But still, your 23, 24, 25 is still higher than the 15.4. Before he came to power, the President Mama gave him 1 million tons of cocoa production, 969,000 tons of cocoa production. What is the figure now? You have reduced it, you are struggling for 500 or 650. Come and tell us. Don't go somewhere and tell us. We gave you a single digit inflation for 36 months. What is the figure now? We gave you an unemployment rate of 8%. It is now about 14 something percent. Why is it so? We gave you a GDP growth of 14.40% before. What is the percentage now? So these are the indicators we are saying come to Parliament. Then we will bring all the 7 years budget of NDC. Then we give you all the 8 years budget of NPP. Then we do budget to budget comparison. Economic indicators comparison. Then Ghanaians will know who is speaking the truth. Almost all the indicators you have done this, we've done this, we've done this. If you say we should compare records, where are the records? The only house of records in Ghana is the Parliament of Ghana. We have people who feel the impact of your economic implication. And we have people who give you all the approvals. So we are not begging that, oh, come and let us debate. Debate for what reason? Come and let us compare the records.
Very well. Thank you.
You are talking of misinformation. Parliament is the house of records. All the loans that we have approved for you, we have done it. The 54 billion deficit that you are talking of, come and defend it. That's what that we are saying.
Very well.
The 742 billion debt that you have incurred for the country, come and defend it.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't just say, I've done this, I've done this, I've done that. Then you can be saying it somewhere. Parliament gives you that legitimacy. And you are legitimately entitled to it. Don't run from accountability and say misinformation. On Saturday, President Mahama is contesting for election. He is going to present his manifesto, his campaign launch for the good people of Ghana. In August, he will bring his manifesto. He doesn't own Ghanaians' accountability. All the mandate that was given to him in the 4 years as vice president, 4 years as president, that accountability has already been rendered. So what accountability are you talking of? Who are in the seat? We say come for accountability.
Thank you.
This is accountability debate we are seeking for.
Thank you so much. Honorable Ibrahim Ahmed is MP for Banda, NDC MP Deputy Whip. Dennis, there's another headline from the minority leader case, Lato Forcing. He says, a driver's mate is not qualified to debate an experienced driver. That's in response to all the calls from your side for a debate. What do you say to that in quick response before we go off?
Omar, not just quick response. I need equal time to respond. And
okay,
if I'm doing it,
1 minute, please.
If you do this, then it tells you the reason why the vice president will not go to parliament to go and debate, because debates have rules, equal time, topics, and all of that.
Dennis, you have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So, thank you. Now you are talking. So Umaru, Honorable Ahmed is trying too hard. This is not too difficult. The former president owes the people of Ghana accountability. He does. This is a former president who picked this country at an inflation of about 8% and left it at 15%. If you are coming back for our vote, you owe us accountability. This is a former president who left over 100,000 Ghanaian children at home without giving them access to formal education at the secondary school level. If you are asking us for another vote, you owe us accountability. This is a former president that we still pay, actually, who left us in darkness for 3 years out of his 4 years. If you're a former president, you owe us accountability. This is a former president who said that even though you have worked for a year, 12 months, as a nurse or a teacher, the country doesn't have money to pay, and so they will pay you 3 months. If you're asking us for your vote, for another vote, you owe us accountability. They are trying too hard. Like I said, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not the one who presents budget in Parliament. In fact, for your information, he hasn't been to the budget reading in Parliament, not just this one. Last year, Umaru, you would agree that you didn't see the vice president there. So it is not true, and this is part of the misinformation and disinformation. It is not true that he always comes to Parliament for budget reading and he didn't come for this one. Go and check if you saw him in Parliament and the reading of the 2024 budget last year. Go and check if you saw him there in the reading of the 2023 budget. He wasn't there, and it's simply because he has able men to handle these things, whilst he also handles other aspects of government business. Now, you read the letter of the minority, and you realize that they are quite clear. They said, and if I may, I'll just read a quick portion.
Unfortunately, you have less than 30 seconds.
This is the reason why the vice president would have to meet former President Mahama on the appropriate platform.
Yes,
the rules are different.
And this is the reason why we have to end, because you've exhausted your time.
Umaru, no,
Dennis, you asked for time. I've given you, and I've been quiet.
No, you gave him too much time.
No, I'm the one regulating it. You said rules.
You give me 2 seconds.
Okay, 2 seconds.
The minority has lined up a crack team of highly knowledgeable and competent members on its side to debate the vice president. And today I'm telling you that the vice president has equal able men to debate you. And they say, oh, don't worry, he will be one of them. They should stop shielding the former president.
Okay.
The vice president has invited him. If he doesn't want to come, he should be free to say that. If they want a debate on the economy, Honorable Frenamaken, Kwesi Kwarteng, Frank Anodonpre and Co are there to debate them. Whenever the former president is ready, the vice president will be available to debate him as well. Thank
you so much for speaking to us. Dennis Miracles Aboagye is Director of Communications of the Bawumia campaign. Earlier you heard the NDC Minority Deputy Whip, Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim.